Welcome, any and all, to the Movie Club Collective, wherein 3 to 5 cinephiles discuss a new movie every week. This week, for our third week straight, our third week now, we're gonna talk about Frida from 2002 by Julie Taymor, starring Selma Hayek and Edward Norton. No, Alfred Molina. I wrote on here Alfred.
Just because they were dating.
I wrote Alfred Norton.
Alfred Norton.
It's because he was talking about Edward Norton, and it distracted me. That's how my brain works. Joining me this week, across here in the room with me is Jose, writer, director, teacher.
Hello.
Thank you for
I'm
joining
here.
us.
I'm back. I got a beer now. Am I wearing the same shirt that I was wearing last episode?
I have no idea.
I probably am.
You probably are.
I
You
need
probably
to
didn't take it off.
Yeah, the whole week.
Joining us all the way from New Delhi, photographer, movie enthusiast, Daizy Jane. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
You are also welcome. And then joining us once again from LA is Nick Landa. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you.
Last but not least.
Yeah, so we're really pushing the limits of Skype today. So if anything goes awry, just bear with us.
Yes.
So before you guys watched the film for this week's movie club, have you guys seen it before, or what was your kind of thoughts going into the movie, Jose?
I've seen it. I've seen it one time. I can't remember seeing it more than one time before.
Just
Only one time
do you
around
remember,
the time.
Did you like it the first time around?
The first time, the first time I liked it a lot. Yes.
Okay. What about you, Daisy?
I hadn't seen it.
Brand new
That was
experience.
the first, yeah. Last week was like the first time I've ever seen that movie.
Do you know anything about her art going in, or anything about the
A
artist?
little bit. Like I'd heard about her being a feminist and whatnot, and like a great artist, but surrealism. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like I didn't really get into her work that much, but yeah.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid with like my mom years ago, but I didn't really remember it.
Okay.
I was like 12 or 13 or something. What year was it? 2002?
2002.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I probably saw
I was
this
out. That was like
movie-
16 or something, but I don't remember.
I probably saw this a couple years after it came out, so like 2004, 2005, I'd guess. So it's been about a decade since I saw it. I remembered liking it, but I had forgotten a decent amount of the movie.
Yeah, I forgot everything.
There's way more sex in this movie than I remembered.
That I didn't know. See, you don't forget.
That was the
when
part you remember. Yeah, like the stuff that stuck with me was like the crash was a big one that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Just like I like some of the way they use her paintings in the film. Like that was stuff that stuck with me. The wedding, the scene of them at their wedding.
that's
the
awesome, yeah.
Transitions. That's a really
Yeah.
good one. But yeah, I'd kind of forgotten that it's like
Totally forgot about Trotsky.
Trotsky. Oh yeah, Jeffrey Rush being in
Totally
this movie.
forgot about that.
You know, the world hasn't forgot about Trotsky.
The world
I know. Yeah.
I knew Jose was gonna say that.
So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, so I figured we'll start talking about this as a biopic, or a biopic, however you want to say it.
Nice. See what you did there.
Like, first of all, how much do you trust a movie kind of in general when it comes to biopics, and like how much, is artistic license, but also what is the impression that this movie gave you of like Frida, the artist? Well, why don't we start with you, Nick?
Man, she had a hard ass. I felt sorry for her the whole time. She had a really hard, shitty like time a lot of times. Asshole husband, the whole accident at the beginning. Sister turned out to not be the cool. I mean, I just felt bad for her. I thought it was really depressing. It was super depressing. The movie. It was really depressing. Yeah.
Do you? I mean, like I know it's hard to know without having studied the person, but like.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
Seriously
See, that's
do
one
you
thing.
take this kind of
When
thing?
you just said like how much is it real or not, I didn't even think of that. I have no idea actually how much probably is stretched or whatever. Like Yeah, I don't know how they did it. Like if they took it from writings or bio, or I'm kind of curious about that stuff.
It sounds like she walked in sort of famous circles, so there's probably a good amount of documentation to go by.
Okay.
What about you, Daisy?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I didn't really know much about her before, so I don't know how much it's stretched. But I think with her being an artist, you kind of get like that artistic license where, you could just, make like that whole wedding scene where they had the painting and then it all turned real. So I think that was pretty cool. And then yeah, I mean you get a little artistic license just because she's an artist, so you could kind of stretch it. I don't know how much, but yeah.
Do you feel like you know? Do you feel like you can kind of relate to her as a person, or like that you understand what kind of a person she is? Not relate
I
necessarily,
think
but
she was pretty underrated. Like I mean, I know her husband was like, "Oh my God, she's amazing," and then Trotsky comes in and he's like, "Yeah, you
but
should
meanwhile,
go to
he's
her."
the famous one, right? Diego
Yeah,
Rivera is the one
exactly.
who's like
Like
getting paid to
at
paint.
first, exactly. At first, I thought it was more like kind of highlighting his life and her being like the shadow. But then, I mean, it's Frida, so it's about her. But then there's a very good amount of focus on her husband because he was already like hugely famous.
Yeah. What about you, Jose?
I think they did take a lot of artistic licenses. I mean, this is the thing. I usually tend to not choose biographies to watch. They're not my cup of tea. And then when I watch them, I usually tend to like them. But this movie, seeing it now, it gave me a completely different impression. First, it doesn't feel real. I mean, it is about a real person, but how can you condense a life of a person like 2 hours? I mean, then you find yourself watching a several of collective moments that feel always too important to be, to be alive. Like when you live your real life, you have to live all the moments in between. You don't go from like an intense moment to another intense moment. But when you're narrating a life of a person in 2 hours, then it feels that everything is like that. Like, how do we know what did she talk to Trotsky about? How do we know how did she fight with her husband? This is all assumptions unless they come from a diary or something. So at the end of the day, it feels fake in that
You
sense.
don't trust.
I don't try. Yeah, I don't trust it. I mean, I think that other aspects that we're gonna touch about it later, they're great, but it doesn't. It didn't sink to me like the first time. I did not enjoy the story. I enjoy other aspects of the movie though.
That's interesting. I mean, I do kind of agree with you a little bit on the point of like, how do you condense a lifetime into just like a couple hours? Um, but
Watch
to
me.
me, what's that?
I could do mine in like 30 minutes.
Let me-
Nothing's happened. Nothing big happened yet.
yeah. You just, you're right on your computer the whole time. Um, but I think this movie did a good job of sort of, um, you try to find what's at the core of somebody. I think with any movie, fiction or nonfiction, but like especially with a biopic, I think it's like what makes what makes her interesting beyond just like the paint on the brush. And I think it did a good job sort of nailing this idea of her. Like I kind of see Frida as a person who was both like appreciative but aware of the flaws of life around her. Like she seems like someone who's like she's the life of the party, but she's under no delusions that like it's all roses and sunshine. Like she's willing to kind of accept all that crap with the goodness. So I got someone who's kind of I got a picture of someone who's you know who's optimistic but realistic at the same time, which I thought
She was super forgiving.
yeah, like
Yeah.
super forgiving.
Super
And I just
forgiving,
feel like
man.
of life in general, like she gets hit by a bus and it's like, okay, I'm gonna walk again. It's like her husband constantly cheating on her is like getting hit
Yeah.
by a bus over and over.
But like, I mean, she kind of walked into that
She
though.
kind of
Like, I
walked
mean, he
into
to-
it.
Yeah. We're introduced to him sleeping with someone.
Yeah, like
exactly.
from the get go.
From the get-
And I
It,
feel
it's so it's,
yeah.
not, it's not like she didn't know.
It's not like she didn't know. She does, and it's kind of like, yeah, there is that question, well, why do you stay with him? And, I think that it just kind of is something in her personality that she is willing to forgive both people and just kind of the world for being a shitty place. Like, a lot of people don't A lot of people hold all their problems against the world, and she seems like, at least that's how the movie paints her character, as someone
Yeah.
who doesn't.
You know,
who's
one
willing
thing I
to
feel like though
express-
because I felt like a piece of that was probably some kind of self-image. That's the one thing I felt like the movie didn't do as much because I feel like Frida Kahlo was someone who probably must have had some kind of like, she had a limp and stuff, and I'm sure there must have been some kind of self-confidence issue that I don't think the movie really that much tapped into, in my opinion.
It's true.
Because also that would make sense why she's so forgiving of such an asshole. If, she had a low self-confidence kind of thing, and it was like, well, this is what I can get.
But
if she had, like,
but
a
she
bad
didn't settle
self-image.
for him either. Like,
Huh?
like she doesn't exactly settle for him either. Like she
Not settle, but I mean, yeah, because she does her own
Yeah,
thing.
she
off, but-
exactly. She does her own
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
But I
So
think
I don't know.
being with him kind of fuels that. She already gets confidence from being with someone, so it kind of gives her the confidence to do. Because then the next time she doesn't, she does that kind of stuff is when she's an alcoholic. So it's not like, I don't think she had the world's best self-image.
It might be true. I mean, if you look at her paintings, I can see by your face over here, Jose, you don't fully agree. But, like, I feel like there is some merit to that argument when you look at her paintings. Like, she is kind of hard on herself the way she draws herself.
I think most artists.
She really plays with the unibrow. Like, you look up photos
Yeah, exactly.
of her. Like, you look at photos of Frida Kahlo, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but she
more
like
so
would
than
lay that on.
more so than
Yeah.
she is in her paintings, actually. What is your? You sound like you're talking a bit.
Yes, I know. It's just that like every time you see the life of an artist, then it's usually the constant struggle. And then when you approach the life of an artist who is also a woman in a time where women were undermined, it seems that her life, despite of the accident, was pretty easy. I mean, this woman was loved by her father. She was neglected by her mother. She had an accident, and then the scene of the accident, she gets bathed in gold because that is what gave her what to paint for. She didn't paint about life. She constantly paint about her pain on her body. But everybody's attention was on her. She went to a party. She was the life of the party. She get to marry the most important artist, and her inspiration. She get to New York. She get everywhere. She gets recognition at the end. She dies at a relatively not too old age, as with fame, with fortune.
I don't think she was that old
She
when she
claims
died.
to be. They both claim to be communists, and they just constantly go to bourgeois parties and stuff like that. She had an amazing life, except for
Well,
the
I
fact
think
that she
amazing
had
is a little. She
Yeah.
had money. She came from money, and she was able to do stuff because of that. I wouldn't say it's amazing life.
I would love to be a
Yeah.
communist like she was a communist. I would love to be a communist like he was
When
a communist.
you live
It's like her paintings were about physical pain, were not about life.
But they're also about emotional pain, you know.
Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, when she
Where?
Getting
lost
her
her
heart ripped
kid,
out. She lost
the baby.
Losing her.
I mean,
baby.
yeah, there are
That's-
aspects of. I mean, I'm just
Well, it's like,
saying
okay,
it.
that's
pain-
kinda bad.
And to say that physical pain doesn't contribute to that. Like, she did go through sort of countless surgeries.
No, I understand, but
In a
I'm
time
just
when
talking about the
medicine
movie.
is not what it is today. You know what I mean? Like, you're dealing with people trying to fix back problems in the early.
Yeah, but there's no
1900s.
struggle because she was a woman. There's no struggle because she was a communist. There's no struggle about that. It's just a struggle about her relationship with this guy who's clearly an asshole in that sense, but who came to her and said, like, look, this is who I am. You know what you're marrying. She goes, like, I'm okay with that. And then she wasn't. And at the end, I mean, she kind of was.
Did you?
But the sister thing was just the thing that she said, you betrayed me
Yeah.
there. Like everything
Yeah,
else,
that whole loyalty thing. That's
the
where that
loyalty.
came from.
The loyalty.
Exactly. She was like, you can be loyal,
Yeah.
but I don't really care if you cheat
Yeah, it's
on
like-
me.
it's like,
as
don't do
long
my
as it's
sister.
like a
cross the
fuck,
line,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I'd agree that the communist thing didn't really get her any obstacles in the movie, but I gotta say the female thing I think did. Like a good example is when Alfred Molina's painting the Rockefeller thing, and there's the shot of him in the background painting on a huge wall, and then in the foreground, Frida's
Son's
painting on a tiny ass
Yeah.
canvas. It's like this big. Like me and Coco are laughing at it. It's like my little canvas, and it's like to me that's an image of like it's like it shows she's
and
a
the
female
fact
at that time.
like-
This is her canvas, and then he gets a huge ass wall.
The fact that she is a better artist than he is.
That's
and
also
he
because she
makes,
didn't really,
you know,
market herself like well.
It
I mean,
doesn't
her
show
husband
us
kept-
doing that, but she does. She does go through moments a few times in the film where she's like, "I need to sell paintings."
Yeah,
you
and
know?
then like her friend, like that one chick, she was like, "What are you painting? I mean, what is this?" Like that whole
Yeah, not
a few
everybody
nips
gets
painting.
it. Yeah, not everybody gets
Exactly. Yeah, so I mean, that could also be a reason, that not everybody got her painting.
Her stuff
so
is so
she couldn't sell that
personal
much.
that it's hard. It's like it's not pop art. She's not selling something that's necessarily
Her
going to
stuff
be
was like, yeah.
appreciated for the moment that it's out. It is the
She
kind
was
of
like
stuff
Mexican
that,
Dolly.
you want to look
Yeah.
at with a more reflective, in a more reflective way. Whereas he has these sort of like, mass friendly sort of style of doing murals or whatever. Aside from putting communist leaders.
But this
Yeah.
the thing that I find interesting is that we are judging a life by the movie.
Yeah,
We
sure.
have no that's the thing. I mean, this is
Yeah,
this
I
is
only
what
know
comes from watching this
Frida
movie.
as just like looking at her art and then this movie.
Yeah.
Like, essentially.
Yeah.
But like it does, I think it did. This movie does make me appreciate her art a little more, just in like
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
knowing
it
the
does.
kind of crap.
Yeah, know where it comes from.
Where
Yeah.
it comes from, and like because you look at her stuff and it's like, well, that is weird and like painful, and like you can kind of put a story there, but like when you actually hear some of the crap she went through, I do think it sort of makes me look at her art a little differently, a little more appreciatively anyway.
Especially because you are looking at a painting and then you appreciate the painting not because of the quality of what is painted, but because you understand that it comes from a genuine feeling. I think that's what connected with people through her painting. It's like you can see the paint, you go like, oh, you are in really a lot of pain. Like this is telling me a story. Even when you draw a face that doesn't, like it's not, it doesn't look like a real face. It doesn't look like like Leonardo will paint a face or something. But I can really see that you are just like portraying the way that you see your own body or your own pain. It makes you understand. I mean, in that the movie was very successful.
Let's talk about the filmmaking a little bit.
Mhm.
What do you guys think is sort of the standout aspect of the film, or like the best? Like, what was done best in this film? Nick, why don't we start with you?
I think cinematography and editing were my favorite things. The whole mixing the art with the real life stuff, and it was shot gorgeously. And the editing was really good. That's to me was the best parts in filmmaking.
What do you think, Daisy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, just how the paintings and, like, real life were merged into, like, this one big, canvas kind of thing. But, yeah, like the whole gold, like, the accident shot, like, when she's just looking and she can see the wall coming close, and yet somehow she's not connecting the pieces. Like, I mean, you can see in her, like,
Yeah, there's
expressions
no
and stuff. So, and then the whole gold coming onto her and just the way she's, there. And then the whole, after, like, the operation, when that operation is happening and stuff, that whole art and skeletons and surrealism comes
Yeah,
in.
I'd forgotten about that.
That was such a good
like,
part.
The
Yeah,
puppets, the puppets
Yeah.
and stuff.
Like, I mean, I was like, wait, what is happening? But then when you, like, hear what was going on, then you're like, oh. And then it just, like, clicks. It's, like, really well done.
What do you think?
I have to agree with them both, especially with Nick on the fact that the photography, it's like, I feel that the photography and the direction, like the mixing of art within the thing, like when and we see it for the first time is after the accident, that you get all this weird sequence with the skeletons, the classic like Mexican skeletons that are, and then you hear that that's the operation. I think I was looking at that, go like, this is really interesting. And it's like what changed her, and the shot that Daisy is mentioning is probably my favorite shot of the film when she gets bathed in gold after the accident. That's
because
a
that's
nice
your
touch,
dream.
right?
I'm sorry.
That's
my
your
dream. That's my dream. I get like. Not gonna
Just
say it.
just without
I'm
the
thinking
rod
it. I'm
into
thinking
your-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
he'll take the rod.
I think I'm gonna second you with just saying that like direction is the thing, because the way that the shots are composed is just gorgeous from the back. Every frame struggles to be a painting.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single one from beginning to end. Like, and there are some standout ones. But I guess if I give a second to direction, maybe is like costume and just production design. Because like it really does a good job of bringing Mexico to life and kind of showing the color there.
In that time period too.
In
Yes.
that time period. when they go to New York, even those shots of like old timey New York are pretty good. Like they do a good job of conveying the flavor of that time and place. And her costume work is always it's always really good throughout the film. So yeah, I guess I kind of agree. Like the composition of shots is pretty amazing throughout. This is the ultimate, like, I think this is a really good example of like shot to edit. Like there's very few of what I would call like filler or safety shots. Like occasionally you have conversations with some kind of standard over the shoulders, but almost every wide starts out as a composition that looks like it could be a painting.
Yep.
And then it'll like move into a very elegant like portrait shot. There's always like really good thought to background. So I gotta hand it to Julie Taymor and just like composing these beautiful frames throughout.
What
the
else
film.
has she done?
She did Titus. She hasn't
Titus,
done anything
yeah.
recently.
I didn't see Titus. I wanted to see it, but I didn't see it. With Anthony Hopkins, right?
Yeah, it's very
Anthony
stylized
Hopkins.
too.
She's done. That's the only one I can think of right off the top
Okay.
of my head. But she hasn't. She's done. I think she might have moved to theater to do more theater. But
Gotcha.
I don't know, like you
yeah,
know,
I don't think she's done a movie super recently.
you know, one thing that I want to mention is that I don't think that this movie has memorable acting.
I was waiting for someone to
don't-
say that. I totally agree.
I
It-
don't think
it was
it has
no
anything.
one's best other than Salma Hayek. But not to sound mean, Salma Hayek's not my favorite actress in the world.
I do
I
think
think this
it's
was probably one of her best.
I agree.
But Alfred Molina, Edward Norton, Jeffrey Rush, it was not anyone's best performance.
What do you think, Daisy?
Yeah, I mean, Edward Norton was like, wait, I didn't even realize that he was there till I was like, wait a second, But yeah, I mean, Salma Hayek definitely stands out. Not like I think Desperado was like the only movie that I remember of Salma Hayek, to be honest.
Poor
But
Salma
yeah,
Hayek. She's
after
not
that,
Penelope
there's like,
Cruz.
yeah, that's the one.
You know
And
more about
Banderas
Shah Rukh
reunited in
Khan.
this one.
She-
Banderas with his cameo.
Yeah, Banderas is like
Yeah.
a,
I was
such
like,
a
what
small
the
role.
fuck is
Blink and
Antonio
you miss it,
Banderas
yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
It's like they really needed any Spanish actor.
That's the other thing. That I feel that this movie should have been Spanish.
That is.
I agree.
This
That
movie
is
should
odd.
have been
Like Diane,
Spanish.
wasn't Diane Lane in it? What's her name? It's Diane Lane, right?
I think so.
She's-
Yeah.
Isn't that her name? I might be messing up.
I
The
don't
one
know.
who
Diane Lane.
is like Dance With Me, whoever drinks
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most.
yeah.
Dance with.
Yeah.
That's Diane Lane, I think.
Is it? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I
I
can
don't
either
think-
confirm or
No, but I
It's
know
the-
she's a famous face, but I just don't
Yeah.
remember the name. But yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
That's
It just feels like the occasional Spanish word being thrown out during an English sentence. It threw me out of a line.
Ashley
Yeah.
Judd. Sorry, I'm an
Ashley
I'm a-
Judd.
Yeah,
I'm a-
Diane Lane. I was like,
way
oh,
off. Yeah, okay, Ashley Judd.
Um,
But it was someone.
Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been Spanish. This
It
movie
been
should have been Spanish.
There was some
Yeah.
Spanish
She's
music.
really
It was
old.
more music than anything else. But yeah, I agree. Like, have them speak English when they go to America, maybe.
Yeah.
If you want to do that. I mean, I guess it's because Julie Taymor is, she speaks English, the director. So she probably made that call just so she could direct them. But
Yeah.
you might consider, having a Mexican director do something like this. I mean,
Well, the actors could speak English to her and then speak Spanish.
And
for
I
her.
Yeah.
think she could have taken a shot at directing it in Spanish.
Yeah, I think it'd been better.
I think she's a good choice as director just because of what we were saying before, the compositions and sort of the flow of the narrative. But yeah, I did find it struck me somewhere in the middle of the movie, like my brain went, shouldn't they all be speaking Spanish?
Yeah.
Like, it definitely occurred to me. And I definitely agree, like, Alfred Molina's okay in this movie.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
But he's not, like, great. Jeffrey Rush, most awkward sex scene in the movie.
Oh,
Bravo.
man. Tell me about it. More than like Quills or whatever. There was another movie with a weird
Quills,
one. with
yeah,
a-
Quills.
Yeah, Quills was great.
Yeah, that's a great
Where's
movie,
the
I'm
Marquis
saying.
de Sade, right?
Marquis de
I
Sade,
thought
yeah.
I thought I was done with my Jeffrey Rush sex scenes with Quills, and I was like, oh god, Frida,
Yeah, I forgot he was in here.
why is he getting so many sex roles?
I can't believe I forgot that there was all the sex scenes in this movie. I remember the first one that they see him starting to like cheat on his wife or whatever, but there were so many after that, and no Spanish throughout.
No, see, yeah, it's so weird. It's just so, and then they're all trying to speak with an accent.
Yeah, of course,
just
yeah.
to make it better. Like, I mean, if you're gonna go for English, just go directly for English. Don't throw Spanish words every once in a
I
while.
think Selma Hayek's always gonna have a Spanish accent.
Just such
Yeah, I
a
mean, her and
racist.
Antonio Banderas, they were on point.
You have a Venezuelan accent still. Yeah, that ain't.
Do I have an accent? Really? Oh my
And,
god!
it's,
Right?
Oh,
you
this
have
is so
a
weird.
New Jersey accent.
I have a New Jersey accent. I tell people I'm from Venezuela and they think Minnesota. It's like, oh god, it's the accent.
Um,
But I think like Trotsky and like Salma Hayek, pretty much they had the same accent. To be honest, like I couldn't tell if it was like him speaking like in a Russian accent and like Salma Hayek being like almost Mexican, but it just sounded the same.
Also, I'm curious what they spoke into each other. Like, if the movie
Yeah,
was in
like-
Spanish, like, did they speak in Spanish to each other? Did she know
Yeah, did
Russian? Did
Trotsky
they
know
speak
Spanish?
English? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
did they not even talk at all? Did they,
Yeah, they just look at each other
I mean,
and
it
go
would
like,
make sense for. It would make sense.
Meet
for
me in the
Frida-
back room,
yeah.
It would make sense for her to be multilingual, with her father being
Yeah, that
German.
would make
Jew
sense.
That's
and
true.
her mother being.
Yeah.
you know what?
Mexican.
They probably spoke German to each other. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I,
I mean,
What?
I wouldn't be surprised if she was multilingual.
Why that?
her father was German.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her father was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
said like
If you
remember-
watch the movie,
if you watch the movie, he says to the mother, like when the mother is like, "Oh, she's marrying this guy who is a divorcee and it's and it's an atheist," and he goes like,
Yeah.
"Well, you married a German Jew," and then
Gotcha.
like that's what I got. He was German and Jewish.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because he said it. It was an amazing.
It was I know.
IMDb can only help you so much, Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me check again.
Another note on, I guess, while we're on faults of the movie, is that the sound quality of in the movie is up and down. Like, there's a lot of music, but I was just kind of listening, and it's just not quite as good as a lot of movies. That coming from our podcast, which has been having sound issues. Since day
Sound
one.
issues.
Yeah, what a picky bastard.
I know. But like, it is something I noticed that like just the quality, the voice quality was kind of odd in a lot of the scenes. So
I just paid attention more to the sound effects, which I thought were good. Like the crash scene sound design was good. Surgery scene sound design was
yeah,
good.
the music choice was good.
Music
too.
was
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, it didn't like blow my head off or anything. The music was,
It fits. I feel like the music always kind of is. It's.
but I did
it
not
suits.
notice any dialogue stuff. To be honest, I did not notice anything like that.
Yeah, I just got some technical, some hissing.
I mean,
and
you
stuff.
know more
Was it
about
too
sound.
low?
I've been
you
kind
were
of
saying?
listening. No, just like, where I can hear sort of the different quality of
Oh,
like
Hmm.
the mics being muffled or whatever in some of the scenes. Some of the more intimate scenes where it is quieter, you can kind of notice these things come up more. But maybe also I've just been paying attention to these things more recently. So I'll be on the lookout,
You'll be in the lookout. I feel.
listening.
I don't know if I feel the same way about you like that you do about that the sound quality. I did feel that the music could have played a bigger part, and it wasn't included as big as I thought it could be.
It's
I
not
did
like
like
she was a musician.
when she yeah, but it feels that the director made an effort to try to include Mexican folklore, like musical folklore, into this idea, because she clearly liked to sing and liked to be in parties and stuff like that. And the most memorable moment in music was when she sits across the table from this old woman. The old woman starts singing about death, and then that's when it leads into Trotsky being killed. That she's talking about like the black something. I don't know. She's saying in Spanish, and she's talking about the death, and then she starts like yelling at her.
Yeah.
I think that was really cool. I think that was a very good use of probably a popular song. I'm not Mexican, so I wouldn't know
Yeah, I know.
what is popular or not, but it's like for certain, Pancho Villa and stuff.
there you go.
There you go.
Let's
Yes. Let's not leave moments of silence.
What else we have? So I guess we'll get into kind of final thoughts. Final thoughts on the film. I guess we'll keep going with the rating.
Mm-hmm.
So
You want to jump
yeah.
to rating?
yeah, we'll do final thoughts, and we'll do like if you had to give it a score, what would you give this movie, and maybe why?
Interesting.
Well, why don't we start with you, Daisy?
Okay, well, I mean, final thoughts. it's a good movie, but yes, it has faults. Like, that whole Spanish and English thing. Yeah, I mean, I probably could, if it was subtitled, I'd probably enjoy it more because it just brings out a lot more flavor to it. Uh, the art and real life being mixed, that's amazingly done. Uh, Probably grading it would be what, like a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think the movie, I enjoyed it. It's good. The art stuff was done well. I just thought it could have been pushed more. Like, honestly, a lot of the movie, I was really waiting for the next scene, like the next still, to turn into real life or vice versa. And I just thought they could have done it. Like, she could have went all out with it. I felt like it could have happened a lot more, to be honest. Just because of how crazy the art was in her life. So she did it well, that element. But I think if she'd have done it a lot more, it would have been better. And then also the acting for me wasn't stellar. So.
So what would you give it?
7. I'd give it
7.
like a 7 out of 10.
Also.
I liked it. It was good.
All right.
Interesting.
Jose?
See, I have a different opinion about the like. I really liked the art turning into movie turning into art, but I think she used it. I agree that I wanted to see it more, but I think that if she used it too much, then it would be like no, you're overusing it. So I feel that she played it safe by underusing it a little. But I do agree that you get the feeling that you want to see more of that. I just feel like it shouldn't be abused. I was thinking about 6.7, but I'm gonna bump it to a 7 as everybody
7?
else. 7 I think is fair for this movie.
Yeah, I agree more with you, Jose, about the use of the art. It's like it is the standout moments in the film, and just some of the frames in general are really nice. But I do kind of think it's a balance that you have to walk between telling the story and like getting these really composed shots in, and I'm sure it adds to the budget and whatnot.
He does.
I'm sure it does, but
I don't know. I feel like I could have maybe a little more. I do feel like the movie loses a lot of steam in the last like quarter of the movie.
yeah, once like I think around the Trotsky.
Yeah,
era.
around the time Trotsky comes in and after that, like
Yeah.
I mean we're near the end of the movie already, but like I found myself just kind of being like, are we close? Like that's when I really started feeling the time.
Yeah, totally.
Is around that time.
It's like, are we wrapping this up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it?
She gonna die? She gonna die?
I also thought that they could have played up a little bit more this idea of that she never had her own art gallery in Mexico until she was on her deathbed.
literally.
For crying out
Yep.
loud. And I feel like we could have dropped that in a little bit more throughout the film in order to just kind of like, make that a stronger theme. That she does get some recognition in her lifetime.
I didn't know. I thought she did. See, that's one thing the movie taught me. I thought for some reason Frida was somewhat popular or more
Yeah.
popular than
Yeah.
at least the movie shows in her lifetime. I did not know it was
Yeah.
like literally end of the line. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I just kind of, I don't know. I wanted to see her. I wanted to see a little bit more attention drawn to that, where it's like,
Totally.
Yeah, I feel like it was something they saved for the end, and that instead it should have been something that was kind of run throughout. I did feel like I
Yeah.
got a good beat on her personality, so I'll give Selma Hayek props on that.
Yeah.
In terms of acting, I think it's definitely the best thing I've ever seen her in. But agreed with you guys kind of about the rest that were a little let down. I think this movie does sit at a solid 7. I think that
Settles a
Damn,
7.
I think
7
it's hard
across
to-
the board.
I think
7
it's hard
across
to
the
deny
board.
because it is.
Like the communist nation.
Right?
It
It does have
Everyone
some,
gets the same score.
It does have some flaws,
Oh.
but the beauty in it is enough that like it definitely doesn't fail. Yeah, maybe one too many sex scenes in the movie. Also,
There's never such
I
thing.
know that like it's
Jose's
fun.
like more unibrow.
I know
Yeah,
it's
but
fun
it
and
is.
all, but I just kind of felt like once we got past like 3 of them, once we get to like 4 and 5, like unless they're like majorly important, like I get it. Like she got she had some action. In her
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, she
Um,
did. She liked both.
Yeah, I mean they did spare us largely on the Trotsky scene, but it's still one of the more awkward sex scenes around.
You know,
Yeah, I
there's,
think they could have cut that short.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean they did the thing where you
Save that
kind
for
of
the
can't
DVD.
really
It was
see.
it was just weird.
I just
It was weird,
I just appreciate the fact that there is a movie where you can see Trotsky having sex. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
there's not many, there's not many
Trotsky
movies.
would have never known in his lifetime.
She was not
he would have
an
never
ageist.
believed you.
Oh
Yeah.
God! I mean,
Now
I don't
all
know.
we need is the Lenin sex scene.
Yeah, yeah.
and, yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Stalin.
Maybe a Mao set scene.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man.
But one final thing that I would like to say about this movie is
what
that it felt a little claustrophobic on how they shot it, only because it felt that they didn't have the budget to recreate the time. So most of the shots were done in controlled environments. So it has a feeling of stage.
Yeah,
It has a lot of stagey feeling.
yeah, and I think that does relate to Julie Taymor's background as director. I think she's done a lot
Maybe.
of stage,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I
Um,
think that's.
and so her productions are
Mhm.
naturally kind of stagey.
It's a must watch, definitely. I mean, it's a good movie. A 7 is
Stay
a
watching.
pretty. It makes it
It's
fresh.
good, and I think that it's good that there is a movie about Frida Kahlo. She
Yes.
is interesting.
Bring
enough.
attention. I did have no idea who Frida Kahlo was until the
Is-
movie
And
came
her
out.
art
So
is
I think that
beautiful.
even
Yeah.
if
You
it's
should
only
look it
for
up.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
What does this stand up against? Oh, I forget. Like the other ones you guys have rated. Where does this fall? I'm just curious. Like it'd be funny if this was like way behind. Like,
I don't understand the
Space
question.
Odyssey. or something.
Compared to I put
Like,
this
is you
one
guys-
a
we all
little
rate-
above Space Odyssey, right?
Space Odyssey was what, like a 7.5?
What was my
No, Space
Overall?
Odyssey. Space Odyssey. We gave him like close to a 10.
No, you guys
No,
were
but
giving.
then
Oh yeah,
John-
what was mine?
Then
I-
John brought it down.
Give it like a
John,
2.
yeah, John.
Yeah, I brought it down.
John-
I think I
That's
did
why I'm
give
saying.
Space Odyssey a better score than this one. What did I give it?
You gave it like an 8 something.
8.5.
8.5. He brought it down. But it ended up being like 9 point
And what was-
something.
and then last week's
It was Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit, which
I brought
which was
down.
like a 7.
Yeah, it was
5
around
or
a 7.
something.
I think that, I mean, for me, it would be Space Odyssey, Frida, Roger Rabbit.
You put that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Roger
Just
Rabbit
in
and this-
terms of like objective quality,
They're both colorful.
You know, my opinion, my personal opinion always covers my score a lot. So,
Both have
all
very
right.
good sex scenes.
So I guess we'll start wrapping it up.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you.
Daisy, are you on social media? Like,
Yo.
Everybody's on
you-
social media.
give us where it is you want people to follow you.
Okay, well, I don't even know my social media account username, so I'm on Instagram and
It's gonna be hard to find.
Twitter. Yeah.
Or you can put a note
mean-
on the thing saying, like, if you want to contact Daisy, you can call her to this number in India.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna find you on.
Not a
Instagram
toll-free
right
number,
now.
though. You got to pay for that call.
Oh hell yeah. Wait, let me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's Daisy_Jane, Jain and DAIZY. Sorry.
For all our British fans out there.
And you're in New Delhi.
Yeah.
What is Old Delhi?
Yeah, where's Delhi?
Oh, yeah, right.
What is Old Delhi?
No, there is an old Delhi.
There's an Old Delhi, but they
There's
just
an
call
Old
it
Delhi.
Delhi.
But-
They just call it
but
Delhi.
It's around the
It's in
corner.
New
You can
Delhi.
get a great sub there. Okay. Daisy_Jane on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Deal.
Daisy's a really good photographer, so check her out.
Yes.
Jose, where can they find you?
Jose Jose in Paradox both on Instagram and Twitter.
Twitter.
But on Instagram, if you want to contact me, it's better if you do it through JAV as in Victor CH2.
Oh, so you got two.
Yes.
Greedy over here.
No, listen.
You gotta keep it simple for the
No.
people. You can find me at Jon in Paradox. That's JON in Paradox. That's both Instagram and Twitter. Nick is unfindable.
You can find me on the corner of 75th and Broadway.
Yeah, that's not even
I'll be
true.
standing there, just wave.
Whatever city you're in.
He's gonna bring back Lenin's face into the Rockefeller
All right.
building.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week. Next week's film will be a classic from the 90s. Where do I have it written up? From 1993, Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park.
Oh my
nice.
God,
So,
your ass is parked.
So join us next
That
week.
shit better get like
You've got a
9s
week.
and 10s across the board.
You've got a week to
Yeah.
watch Jurassic Park. It is currently on Netflix, so you can find it there for free if you have Netflix, at least in the States. If you don't have Netflix, find a friend, borrow it, buy it, do what you've got to do.
Watch it. You need to watch that film.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. We will see
Thank you,
all
guys.
next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.